Hey, it's your friendly neighborhood Potato Witch. Welcome to the show. The original MediEvil game came out for the PlayStation back in 1998. I only ever got the chance to play a demo disc of the game until I was an adult, but I still think pretty fondly of it since it's one of my partner's favorite games. I've had fun with it over the years, watching the hack-and-slash shenanigans of Sir Dan, skeleton hero extraordinaire. It might not be the world's most serious game, but it is a lot of fun. So, understandably, when I heard that the remake was approaching and that there was a demo available to play, I had to give it a try. And make my partner give it a try. Yeah, we're both pretty impressed. There are a lot of games that get remakes where the dev team does more than just attempt to actually remake the game. They add a bunch of extra content, side quests, completely new art style, what have you. Maybe some god-tier powerful attack that you can only access if you pre-order the deluxe edition or something. And yeah, in some cases that works, not gonna lie. But with MediEvil, so much of the love for this game comes from the original style and nostalgia, so breaking away from that would be a pretty silly move. And thankfully, the dev team didn't do that. Seriously, starting up this demo, I was struck with the fact that this is not just a remake, but a gorgeous recreation of the original, a faithful adaptation into modern gaming, and holy crap did it ever bring back memories. You know how sometimes you play games as a kid and then play a remake years later, and in your head the new and improved graphics feel like they've always been the game's graphics? Like, your mind filled in the blanks and smoothed out the edges until you'd swear blind that the original looked as good as the remake, even though it obviously didn't and couldn't. Yeah, that's kinda how the MediEvil demo felt to me. Now, keep in mind, this video is only talking about the remake's demo, not the full game. I don't have the full game, I'm not that kind of awesome. So there is every chance that there are a lot more changes in later levels of the full release, I can't really say. But I don't think so. I think, as demos are meant to be, that this gives people a proper taste of what they can expect from the final full version. And hot damn, y'all, this game is so pretty! The graphical overhaul is seriously gorgeous and just beautiful on my 4K TV. That creepy charm is oozing off this, like, ooze. Charming ooze. Yeah, let's just go with that. The story starts off in the same way, with the flashbacks to times gone by, battles of old, where an army, led by Daniel Fortescue, charged the evil sorcerer Zarok intending to defeat him. But Sir Dan fell to the first arrow, leaving his army to do the dirty work of taking Zarok down. But blah blah revisionist history blah, and now we all know that Fortescue was the real hero, the one who dealt the final blow to Zarok, and he's hailed as a hero throughout the land of Gallowmere. So when Zarok returns, who better to deal with him than Sir Dan, hero of Gallowmere, history's greatest leader, in all of his revived skeletal corpsey glory. The demo gives you access to the game's first level to run around in, and yes, I know that technically all the info for it says that it's 2 levels, but honestly, I'm not counting Dan's Crypt, since that's basically a tiny place to pick up initial equipment and figure out controls. It's not really a level so much as a tutorial room. No, the real game begins once you leave the crypt and start slashing down the undead that have risen from their muddy graves, where you can explore and actually, play the game. So, first level. Which is mostly what the original demo from the PlayStation era did, except that it gave access to the first 2 levels and was on a time limit rather than a location limit, so to speak. Most of the time I never made it past the first level anyway, so for my part, this felt like my childhood just shot into HD, so I'm entirely on board with that. Everything has the same style, the same feel as the original game, and I have to tip my hat to the development team at Other Ocean for being so faithful to the source. The work they put into it really shows, and for the nostalgic fans of the game, it is really appreciated. All the familiar fun is there, from weirdly adorable scuttling hands on the ground to Sir Dan being able to rip off his own arm and use it as a weapon right from the beginning. It's awesome, and I love it. Also, nearly all of the game's dialogue was recycled from the original, so all the familiar voices are there.
It has risen again!
Those gargoyles have a pretty unique voice that might have been tough to replicate, and honestly, I think that redoing those lines while still keeping so very much intact from the original just would have felt jarring, so I'm really glad that the older dialogue was used anew here. My main complaint, honestly, is that the controls feel a bit stiff. Now, my partner, who has played way more of the original than I have, concurs with that, but apparently the controls from the original are stiff in the exact same way. So, while I might consider it to be a bit of a flaw, something that would have been nice to loosen or smooth out, others who have the muscle memory from the original might feel right at home with what's been done. Or rather, what hasn't been changed. And obviously it's not so stiff that it feels unplayable, so for as small a complaint as that might be, it still isn't worth much. But can I just take a moment to talk about the accessibility options in this remake? Because hell yes! There might not be a subtitle option on that menu screen, but the game's dialogue shows up in text anyway, so there's no real point in having one. Players who might have hearing issues, such as myself, don't have to worry. This is auto-on subtitles. But yo, look at that! Color blindness options! Adjustments for 3 different types of color blindness with 10 degrees of severity in each, and this, my friends, is fantastic. I know there's been a lot of annoying controversy about accessibility options in games these days, with one side saying, hey, I have some issues but still want to play games, can we maybe set up a few options in place to make that easier? And the other side going, get good, scrub, because if I can do it without limitations, then anyone can. Okay, that might be a bit of an exaggeration for some people, but I have seen a few things said to that effect, so... Anyway, here we have options for people whose color differentiation might not be the typical, and so might have a more difficult time with some sections of the game given the color schemes that are used. It's wonderful, and I am so very thankful that this was considered, because even if I don't have much in the way of color blindness, I mean, I do have a little, and it's different in each eye, but it's not enough to affect any games I play. I'm not representative of everyone, and there are those out there who can and will make good use of these considerations. Other Ocean, thank you so much for considering this while working on this game. It means a lot. So, are we going to get this game upon release? You bet we are. Both my partner and I are really excited for it, and chances are high that we'll be stocking up on snacks and reliving a remastered bit of our youth for a weekend. This is a game that, similar to the original PlayStation release, will undoubtedly get multiple playthroughs, which always makes the game worth it, and doubly so because this remake is priced incredibly reasonably. The MediEvil Remake releases on October 25th, 2019, which makes it a perfect Halloween time game. And if you can't wait that long to experience what it has to offer, the demo is still available, and I highly recommend giving it a go, especially if you enjoyed the original back in the day.